All right, back with closing trades right here on ET Now. In continuation with getting you some of the smartest voices on Dalal Street, ET Now spoke to some of the smartest mid-cap fund managers to find out if the new Samvat will be as good for mid-caps as the Samvat gone by. Here's an excerpt of that conversation that me and Tanveer had with them.
I think one of the bigger themes that we are playing out in our portfolios is the rural transformation, the rural thematic basically. If you do closely look at the budget of last year, the government has allocated a significant amount of money towards improving the rural economy, improving the income levels in the rural population. I just like to talk a little bit about a couple of points. Clearly, the new crop insurance scheme particularly is a big winner. It's removed a lot of the inefficiencies of the previous scheme. The execution is pretty good. The premiums that the farmer has to pay is just less than 2%, and so it makes it very viable for people to go ahead and insure their crop. So this is going to really take off, and the government targets to increase the insured crop acreage from about 20-25 million hectares to about nearly 4 times its size the next 3 years. So what the government is trying to do is to ensure the crop income, the agriculture income for the farmer, which is going to cover like more than 10 crore households basically. So that's very important to stabilize the income of the rural population. The second program in terms of networking all the marketplaces, agricultural marketplaces through a electronic network called INAM is going to revolutionize agricultural prices basically, and provide transparency and price discovery in a way in which the NSE transformed Indian equity markets from an outright system to a very opaque system to a current online transparent mode where price discovery is very efficient, right? So that's going to change the whole dynamic of agricultural prices and what the farmer gets and what we pay as consumers. The middleman is going to be eliminated completely.
So that's the catalyst.
Yeah, that's the catalyst. The result is basically you will see that there will be a huge amount of investments made by the farmers in automation, farm automation. Government is encouraging contract farming and liberalizing a lot of land rules basically. So that's really going to bring in a huge agri-capex going forward in the next 3 to 5 years, and many of Indian companies are gearing up for that. The second big idea that we look at as a beneficiary is the agri-input space. Take the seed industry in the country, it's pretty primitive to so to say, and you look at the agrochemical space and the fertilizer space, all of them are each less than $2 billion kind of size, whereas globally many other countries are 8-10 times the size. And with crop insurance coming in, stability of incomes assured, the farmer is going to use better seeds, invest into all the agrochemicals that would improve the yield basically, and with better pricing. So all this is really going to transform the agrochemical, seed and the fertilizer industry going forward. So that's a big space where you have a lot of mid and small caps.
With a broad brush, people look at mid caps and small caps as risky bets, high beta stocks. There's a fair amount of volatility that's tied in. And then there is of course all that talk about doing more aggressive research, understanding the management, their integrity, the legacy there. So how does one really drill it down to which stock to buy versus which one to avoid?
Yeah, so I think mid-cap investing is always a difficult one because for the as many number of companies that you find successful, I think there are many more which are not successful. So I think what matters really is that what we are seeing, I think what one has to see is that whether there is a past track record which the company has delivered, what kind of businesses that they are operating, whether they are structurally growth businesses that the company operates or they are more cyclical.
All right, the big story on your screens that we need to address, and this is coming straight from Cyrus Mistry's office, talking about insinuations on the Docomo issue being baseless, talks on Docomo issue done at Tata Sons board, and there was all that, suggestion, so to speak, or an indication that the whole issue was not managed in consistency with the Tata culture. And of course, this is a straight clarification on that part, a retaliation, so to speak, from Mr. Mistry's office, saying that that was not the case, that these accusations are baseless. Abhinav Das also joins in to discuss the story further.